Righty-o, episode 10 of the Irish Hunting Podcast. And I'll tell you one thing.
Episode 10.7.
10.7, man. It is currently 20 to 1 in the morning, and we started to try record this. What time? About
half eight.
About half eight, yeah. We started. We thought we'd done today. We'd be out here by 9 o'clock, and that just is the technical difficulties you can face, isn't it?
That's what we do because we love his.
Yeah, honest to God, yeah. The effort, the sacrifices we're putting in is so shocking.
Oh,
sure, look, it's making a drop of this all the better. A bit of Irish whiskey, Baja.
Baja whiskey, yeah. As I think I said this before, Brent, but from a very good friend of mine.
Yes, very good.
Which I have very few. Yeah, he is a part owner of this company made in the county of Louth. It's a blended Irish whiskey, and it's a fine tipple, as you can see. But the bottle, it's nice. Getting a good polish off. This is one of their. I think they have two signature whiskies. This is one of them, and it's lovely, smooth.
Absolutely,
it's actually a go-to whiskey of mine.
Yes,
and he gave me a couple of bottles.
Jeez, I'll tell you, I need to sort out my friends, man. My friends, if any of my friends are listening, you need to fucking
step up your game.
Fucking up your game. That's seriously.
What to give you water, bro?
Oh, fuck all. Abuse. Abuse, that's all I ever get after. Holy Jesus. All cask blends of grain and malt. It's nice, it's actually mild, it's nice, I have to say. I can't say anything bad about that whiskey at all. I like the bottle. It's amazing the way a bottle can sell isn't it? You know what I mean? It's just
you look at the lid, there's a beautiful lid in that.
Honest to God, man. It's like a cork you'd see, and so yeah, it's fierce.
I actually have another bottle of the other Baja, which is their premium one, and it's even nicer again. The bottle and the whiskey, which we'll have on the next one or a couple of episodes down the road. But yeah. Thank you, Philip, for that. It's beautiful, and Baja whiskey, fantastic.
Taking the sting out of this fucking evening anyway.
Jesus, man, badly fucking needed.
So yeah, as you probably guessed, we have been absolutely plagued with issues trying to record this fucking episode, but we're here, we're stuck at it, we're
perseverant, we're stubborn fuckers.
We're stubborn as a fucking mule, man. But sure, look, that's what it's all about. Come here, tell me this, what's been going on in the gun club this week?
Couple of things, Brent. So we've a few delegates at the county meeting today. So I haven't got the update as to what was going on in that. There are a few bits and pieces to be discussed there, and we took the vermin. There's a competition for vermin every year. Is to encourage clubs to keep up their vermin control. So you throw in your count for your magpie wings, grey crow wings, mink, fox. And we won it this year. So it's a few bob for the club then, that we use to upgrade various pieces of equipment and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so interested to see what comes back from that. Also met Sarah last night. Kindly came out last night. We've been going back and forth for the last couple of weeks. She's a perfectionist, and she did me 2 drafts of the calendar. So we have it nailed down. Should have that by Tuesday. Got a couple of quid. Fantastic companies around there sponsored me. Sponsored us. Sponsored me through me to the club.
Yeah.
We raised nearly 2,500 in sponsorship almost.
My God, man.
Some brilliant sponsors. So they're all on the calendar. Yeah. Many thanks for them. Because of them, there's going to be plenty more pheasants around next year. I can guarantee it. Yeah. We're going to try and up the local native natural stocks by introducing some poles and stuff like that and into our repertoire, and try to bring them on from there on. And we're hopefully we're in discussions to get second pen up.
Oh, very good. Yeah. So, that'll do. Yeah, that'll help you wonderful.
Huge,
Fantastic. Yeah. That's brilliant.
So that's basically all that's going to the club. Yourself?
It's been sort of, well, I won't say it's been quiet enough. Maybe I've been a bit quiet out in the club. Just so tied up with everything at the minute. But we've still some boards we're going to let out. We are having a couple of lads. We were due to have a big hawking meeting on Sunday. Just timetables with everyone didn't suit. So there's a couple of lads going to come out on Sunday and fly some of their birds.
Brilliant. Hawk is brilliant, Brendan.
Oh, it's fantastic to see, man. Yeah, it is. It's one of those things like you don't realise how many people are into it until you start talking. You know what I mean? There's a lot of lads that are into it, and a lot of more lads getting into it. You know?
Yeah, and it's one of them things. Like I didn't know much about it until I met yourself.
Yeah.
And it goes back
a long way.
You know, it's historical kind of a way of hunting, isn't it? You know?
Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. And like I have to hats off to the lads that do it. Like it's not an easy thing. Like, you know, the lads are constantly weighing them. That plays a massive part. You know, the bird will be weighed before it goes, and if it's not making weight, like it's getting into a ring, they won't fly him.
Wow!
Because if he's too full, he might come back. Like I think now that there's something to that. You know what I mean?
He's not interested in the hunt essentially.
Exactly, yeah. And like the lads, some of the gear they have for them, the telemetry gear they have for them, like the stuff that goes into it, like the speeds and everything is calculated.
Wow!
Even the G force that some of the birds can turn on and everything, it's fantastic. It's serious stuff now. Yeah.
And you're having a bigger open day then further down the road.
Yeah. So yeah, we're going to have one. We might have it this side of Christmas. But we have a celebrity chef. I won't name him yet because he's. We just have to nail him in for it. He said he's going to come down, so we're just going to when we nail in a day for him, all will be revealed. But he'll be one of Ireland's better known chefs, I suppose. He's going to come out and do a wild game cook up for us at the club, and then we'll have probably the Hawk Club of Ireland down on that day, and we'll have a big day. You're going to come out yourself on that?
Yeah, kids, family. I can't wait to see it. I think it'll be fantastic. And to let the listeners, I suppose, who don't know what's involved there, basically the Hawk is doing the hunt essentially.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, it's
and
great.
these birds retrieve as well, did they?
Oh, they're sorry. 100%. Yeah. Well, they mind so much, but they'll go in. They'll take it down. Then it's up to you to go in.
Yeah.
And then the bird will come back to you, and fantastic. Like there's one man. I actually haven't met him myself, but the lads are telling me about him, and he has. I think it's the female golden eagle, and I've seen. I think it was. I'm not. I could have this the wrong way around, but I think the one I saw might have been a male. And I think the female is a lot bigger, or I could have that completely the wrong way around. But anyway, the one I saw I thought was massive, and the lads are telling me, "Oh, the Lord Jay," they says, "Well, you see, this one is unhuman." I remember the famous quote from the last day when that was they landed in one of the farmer's yards, and he says to the farmer, he says, "You wouldn't lock up would you mind?" He says, if you put the dog in the shed just for a little while." And the farmer famously said to him, just don't be worried about that. The dog, he says, that dog, he says, you won't come near him. It was a sheepdog, like. He says, that's all, don't worry about it. He says, that dog won't come near him. And the man says, I'm not worried about the dog going near him, he says. So that'll give you an idea of the size of these. He literally says, no, if the bird gets at your dog, you know.
They're the apex predator, aren't they?
Absolutely, man, without a shadow of a doubt. So yeah, that's it. We're probably going up in the morning, and we're going to release some more birds, checking everything, top up a few feeders, and keep the whole lot ticking over.
Brilliant.
That's the plan, anyway.
Yeah, I was up actually visiting the pen during the week. I can't remember what day it is now, but yeah, one day.
Well, I think it's actually Saturday now.
It's Saturday now. Yeah, we started this on Friday. Yeah, birds are all looking great. Noah's up there. He's keeping a good eye on them. They're fantastic, lovely. Well. We picked up a great spot among kind of trees and stuff. And it gets the sun in the morning till just the break in the trees at the back, and the ground is as dry as even after all the rain.
We noticed that the other night when we were going out, even with all the rain, the land is still
in good nick.
Honest to Jesus, whatever that is. Yeah. And with your birds, I meant to ask you as well. Are they mostly ringnecks, the cocks, or did you get a?
Yeah, mostly ringnecks.
Yeah.
We didn't get any Scotch breed or any.
Did you not?
No.
Yeah. Sure, look, it's grand, isn't it?
Look, I think next year we'll probably start to look at a few different. There's a thing, Bren. Do you find any difference in the, what would you say, the hardiness of the species?
I don't know if it's the species. I don't really know. We've been getting our birds off the same fella since we started the club, Paul O'Shea, and I mentioned him, I think, in our first episode. Paul is down in County Laois, and I think it's Midland Poultry. I'll find out his name and I'll put it up.
Yeah.
But as I said, I was just typing up we do a newsletter maybe twice a year. I was just typing that up there this year, or this week. And I was just saying it's genuinely the best condition we've ever had birds by a country mile. And the lowest fatality rate we've ever had. I think out of 300 birds we lost 2. And one of those was the first day we got him home, and it was in the crate. And one more was, I think, early on stages, no explanation.
Yeah.
So fantastic, like it was absolutely unbelievable, and it definitely, Paul puts serious effort into them, and like they're only Paul's when we get them, but they're in absolutely fantastic condition.
The newsletter, I've seen Bernie's newsletter that he's up for the Gun Club. Fantastic idea.
Yeah.
Something I'd aspire to do myself next year, which is enough to share, but brilliant.
Yeah, sure. Look,
great feed. It gives a nice synopsis of what's going on, and what you're hoping to do.
Exactly.
And very well presented. Well done.
Sure. Look, it has to be done. It's all part and parcel of it. So what the week's shooting? Well, but we kind of done most of it together, didn't we?
We did, Brad. We started. We up until this we hadn't shot together at all, and I'm sure we haven't stopped since. But
honest to God.
We went out for as we talked about in the last one, the Foxing special.
Foxing special, yeah.
Yeah, we went out and we had various degrees of success or unsuccess, whichever way you want to call it.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And as we thought, you had a bad, as you thought, a bad miss on the fox down here on the end of the lane.
Yeah.
And we went out then again on Wednesday night. We went out early doors, and it was quite enough. And as the night went on, we kind of seen a few more. So it's and we trekked in all the usual spots, and we went up to the mound.
Mm-hmm.
And to put it in perspective, this mound is probably 15, 20 feet in the air.
Yeah.
Good elevation, so you can kind of scan around a couple of neighbouring fields, bits and pieces, and see what's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, in she came.
Yeah. Honest to God, yeah.
And both you and I would have, I suppose, banked our wallet on 70, 80 yards, maybe.
Absolutely, yeah. I thought that was going to be that was the outside of it, yeah.
But you had a pop at him with the ATN scope on, and I went out to try and retrieve, and couldn't find him.
No.
So we thought we were after missing.
Yeah.
And I think Gaz called it right in the night. He was full sure you clipped him, and you and I probably weren't as sure.
Yeah.
But you said to me, I remember you turned around and you said, I was as rock steady on him.
Yeah.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Untethered and Wanderwise, where adventure has no age limit. We're your co-host, Heidi Brandis and Nikki Mahundro, and we're here to inspire and celebrate women over 45 who are embracing their independence and want to explore the world on their own terms.
But when I paced out, or paced back in, I think it was 110, roughly back in.
Yeah, probably
from the general area, and that was on the flat. So coming up at elevation, you're probably pushing 130.
Yeah, I'd safely say so. Yeah,
there's lads at home now. Bear with us, lads. We're a bit tired. Scientific. That's 132 fucking yards.
Yeah, exactly.
You know
Relax,
what I'm saying?
lads. Yeah,
it was a bit more than 110 anyway.
Yeah.
So and of course their luck went on. Seen one or two more.
Yeah. Just from, as we say, like, you know, some of the landscape down here, you'd see a pair of eyes 500 yards away.
Yeah,
wouldn't you? In fairness, you know.
Do you remember the one actually? Just as you were saying that 500 came across there's a motorway that runs 3 or 4 fields away from us.
Yeah,
and we were looking over in the distance, and this thing came running
like a fucking sea biscuit.
It was surely. Conservatively, kilometre and a half away, Brady.
Yeah. Oh man, he
maybe
was
more.
Some distance away. Yeah, without doubt.
We didn't know what this thing was.
Oh man, he was absolutely. And then he just disappeared.
Yeah,
just out
he
of nowhere.
was horsing it.
Horsing it, man. Yeah.
So and we trekked on, and the wind was with us all night.
Yeah,
great.
matter. We
Great
couldn't have got it any better. Yeah, in fairness, yeah. We the moon for I'd say 95% of it was under cloud cover, so it was grand.
That was perfect. And and even the last two that we've seen, two foxes playing around in the field there.
Yeah.
But couldn't get near them.
No.
We just couldn't get near them. So, we kind of called it a night.
Yeah.
Cursed their luck.
And we thought I was fucking raging. I was giving out still. I was really it shook me.
You didn't know whether the scope was off.
Exactly. So effectively, I suppose to reiterate, I had pulled on 2 foxes and found neither of them, and I was fucking I was pissed off. I was really like it was playing in my mind, and it was bugging the fuck out of me, and I kept saying to myself, maybe the zero's off, because Gaza, in fairness to, and I had seen them myself in some of the hunting groups you'll see, like some of the ones over in the UK and stuff like that. A few people have said on it that they've found that their scope, now not the ATN specifically, but night vision scopes were losing their zero. So I said to myself, Jesus, I'll check it now. Mick in Centre Cold Animal, as it says to me, he zeroed it for me, and in fairness to him, it was always, if Mick fucking does it, it's spot on, you know. So I said it was bugging me. So I went home. So the following day, I snuck out down to the field at the back of the house and set up my target at 150 yards on my set of sticks and put 2 holes in it in the centre of the target, no more than an inch apart.
Yeah, you sent me a video.
Yeah, so I says she was bang on. So then I had resorted to the fact that it just was fucking a lousy horrendous fucking shot. So then that brings us forwards to today.
So myself and Rob and Sean, his young lads, we all decided to go for a shot this morning. So we said we wander down to the first field, and we were, I suppose, to put in perspective, when we were out during the week, the wildlife we were seeing at night, it was phenomenal, wasn't it?
Man,
it's snipe, hares in the dozens,
woodcock,
snipe getting up left, right, and centre. So we got to see.
Lapwings, we did a load of lapwings.
Oh, lapwings, that's right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was fantastic. Really few rabbits as well thrown in the mix on the first night.
Yeah.
So it was brilliant, really brilliant to see. So I said to Rob, we'll go down there and just check this field, and it's as dry as snuff down there. Sort of very little chance of snipe anyway. You might get the odd one, but we'd say we'll go down and check it. And sure as Jesus, as they say, the dog came across. I brought my dog Max, and he brought Gracie, his little Springer. I brought my little Springer, and off we trekked.
Not so little, yeah.
Yeah, so in we went and came across your first fox.
Yeah.
So
delighted.
Yeah, right, and I, I'd say it's dropped where he stood.
Yeah.
So delighted for you. Got on the phone, took the photo off.
Yeah.
But I had a kind of a little inkling that maybe this mightn't be the end of the story. So didn't send a picture just then. Trekked on, came back up to where we seen the 2 foxes. Right to the big long lane, went down to a kind of a what would you say? It's a stepped field. You know, you go around the corner, it opens up again. You go around the corner, it opens up again. But we're going into the field. I was telling Rob the way Max is hunted, as I've said here in the podcast, he's a little bit different than a conventional Springer. So he hunts slightly different as well, which suits me. And I've kind of got to know him probably a little bit more this year. And I'm just going to work with him rather than against him. So he hunts, to the right hand side of me, if you can imagine. The ditch was on the left. They're 6 feet away from me, and Rob was I know he was looking, thinking, Jesus, I was not hunted at all, there's no way. But as we were turning the corner, he just nipped in behind me, put his nose into the ditch, and I said to Rob, Jesus, he likes something in there.
You played it off. It's just Max.
And off Max went again, out to the outside again, and nothing of it until about 50, 60 yards, in he went again, and this time he looked back at me, get yourself ready here, horse.
Yeah.
And in he went, and up went the cock. We both pulled at exactly the same time, I kid you not.
Yes.
Because it wasn't a bang bang, it was bang. That's all, two of us bang simultaneously, and I shot the pheasant. That's all I'm going to say. That story has changed earlier on. That's the short version.
Yeah.
So,
fuck's sake, Rob, what are you at, man? Come on.
So on we went into, as I call it, the snipe field, and we put up a few snipe out there, but it's heavy, rushy ground, as you know.
It sure is, man.
And my springer does not like it.
No, I don't like it myself.
So he works beside me, would be the only way to describe it.
Yeah.
But I was kind of probably getting a little bit, previous to today, I was getting a little bit angry. Why isn't he going out ahead of me,
Yeah.
But as soon as the field opens up and he gets beside the ditch, he starts to come alive again.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to push him to heavy cover. He's not built for it.
No, 100%, man. Yeah, work him to his own limits. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you work off the benefits of that. Then you just have to work with that.
That suits me. Like if I have a dog that's working ditch, which is predominantly the land I'm going to be working anyway.
Yeah.
I'm happy out.
Happy out, yeah.
So we went across the fence and into the aforementioned hill field.
Yeah.
And just coming up the hill, and what did we stumble across? The second fox.
Fox number 2.
So Bernie had gone from 2 misses this week to bang on kills. So took the picture, sent it on. I was just delighted to send that picture because I know what it feels like when you feel like you've missed, and you're, especially when you don't know what you've done wrong. It's one thing to say, I was under him or I was over him. Yeah. But to be bang smack on, it's a nightmare.
It is 100%, man. Yeah, definitely. That was the killer thing for me. It was just like there's two things. Like I knew I was fucking bang on, and then you question yourself. You're like, oh, maybe just when you squeeze the trigger, you flinched a little bit, or you know what I mean. But like, I just fucking, it was just
everyone misses. There's an excuse for every shot. Whether we've all done it, we've all missed, we've all hit. Oh yeah. But the thing about it is as you said, especially the second one. Yeah. The first one was a horrendous night, and we could have had 10 excuses that night.
Yeah, 100%. We had driving rain into our face. It was like that, as you said earlier. You'd shine out a torch, and all you'd see is just rain.
A haze of rain
coming into. Yeah.
So even to find it was, and we searched long and hard for it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that's, and the second one, I knew that was bothering you because you said you were bang on.
Yeah.
And when you are bang on an animal and you miss, and you've no excuse for it. You start saying, Jesus Christ, I was bang. The centre mass there. Where did I go wrong?
100%. Yeah, definitely.
So I was delighted when I found that.
No, I was fucking over the moon, man. To get that news on then on a Friday, I was just fucking happy out because, as well as that, I had rechecked my zeros. I was like, and then I was determined. I was kind of trying to squeeze. I was like, when can I get back? I need to prove to myself. I need to prove that this works. Because obviously it was a lot of money, like, you know what I mean. And I was just like, fucking, I want this to work. So I was kind of trying to see when would I squeeze in and I had to get out and get at fox. And I even had it built up in my head. I was like, if I go out again now and miss another fox at this, I'm just fucking going to throw the towel away.
Yeah, and of course you start to overcompensate then, You start to think, oh geez, maybe it was a little bit higher, maybe it was a little bit low.
Yeah, 100%.
You overcompensate then, and that throws you even further. So you're going down a rabbit hole.
As we said, I think we mentioned it in the first or second podcast, you have to have confidence in your gear, don't you?
Absolutely.
Huge part.
Absolutely. Knowing the ground as well as essentially, because knowing what's behind you, the flex field over, your backstops, all that kind of stuff. So, there's a lot goes into it, and you don't need to be worried about the controllables, as they say.
Yeah.
As you say, you're after pumping a lot of money into that thing.
Yeah.
It's nice to
reap the rewards.
Reap the rewards.
Yeah.
So well done.
Yeah. Sure. Cheers, man. Yeah. Cheers. Cheers.
Then we had a good couple of nights out hunting.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. Great to get out.
A bit more control on the local vermin stocks, which is good for the pheasants.
Yep.
I have a couple of snipe and a pheasant in the bag for over the weekend, which reminds me, the snipe How we're going to cook them, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do with them.
I don't know. Like, could you do? You have a couple. I don't know. You'll roast them, obviously, really. Because what else really can you do?
Can you do? Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've it's years ago. I remember going to the meticulous effort, and as you know, they're tiny.
Yeah.
But I took the breast off one.
Oh, jeez.
Just to get a taste of the meat, you know.
Yeah.
Because I've heard stories which I wouldn't be into. I think the French roast them with the head on and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I know to do that with the woodcock and stuff anyway, I
don't know if the snipe is the same. I presume it is.
I'm not sure, they leave, they think they the brain and everything.
Intestine,
I wouldn't be to that now.
No,
definitely
no.
Wouldn't be
So, we're looking for some good recipes for that. So if anyone has them, bang one on.
Absolutely.
At the Irish Hunting Podcast Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah.
So 100%. That brings us. What would you say? We're going duck shooting next.
Next Saturday. Next Saturday we're going to head up to Leitrim and we're going out after a couple of ducks. Brilliant. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. So that's the plan for this week.
Sam's going to bring us up and. Sure. Sam is Sam. I don't need to tell you about Sam.
I've heard about Sam. I think I met him down at Wild Hunter last time.
You did. Yeah, so Sam is. He's a legend of a lad, honest to God. Yeah, and if he'll bring you out, you're guaranteed a good day's hunting with Sam, man. That's a cert.
So that brings us on. There's two aspects to what we're going to talk about: fishing, all things fishing.
Yep.
This will feed into our Christmas challenge.
Yep.
Which we'll be discussing later on.
Mm-hmm.
The first part of which is fishing.
Yes.
Now, as you know, I'm a bad shot, but even a worse fisher.
You're very hard on yourself there.
Yeah, well, I'm getting harder as the night goes on, but there's more whiskey.
He's not a bad shot anyway. I can vouch for that.
But so, where do I start, Bren?
Okay. Well, I suppose fishing. I think fishing is one of those things. It's a great. There's fantastic benefits to fishing, but I suppose one of the first things to start, and you can say about fishing, is you can realistically get into fishing at any stage, at any age of your life, at any part of your life, whether you're a young kid starting out or you're in your retirement, and you're the wind down, as the fella says. You can start fishing. You can fish all over the world. You can literally, as I said previously, that I could guarantee you. And I don't know this, I don't have prices, but I would almost guarantee that if you went down to Wild Hunter in Athlone with 50 quid, you'd come over with some sort of a rod and stuff to get you started. It's not going to be, but it'll get you started, it'll get you in the water and get you.
So the boys down there in Wild Hunter, they'd probably kit you out there for 50, 60 quid.
Yeah.
Starter pack, get you out of the gate and on a bit of fish.
Yeah, 110%. I'd safely say they would. So I started off realistically in the canal, fishing a lot of coarse fishing. Ireland's famous for its coarse fishing. It has some of the best coarse fishing in the world. I started off probably at a fairly young age, maybe 6, I'd say, with my father. And I was hooked, man. I was absolutely hooked on it straight away. I went on to fish. I fished numerous competitions, coarse fishing. So yeah, look at if you know.
See, when you say coarse fishing, Brad, so are we talking? What do you mean by coarse fishing?
Yeah, so coarse fishing.
Those who don't understand.
Yeah, coarse fishing to me is predominantly sort of canal fishing or like certain areas of like river fishing where you will be more or less kind of stationary. You'll be sitting there. And you're
waiting for the fish to come to you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So say with the canal fishing, you can there's various species you're going to get in the canal. You'll get roach, bream, tench, perch, hybrids, and obviously pike, jack pike, and eels. So there's different disciplines for each of those. But I'd say a common one to start off on. And I would also urge if you have a kid that say you want to get him into fishing or he wants to get to fishing. The beauty about the canal is there's high fish stocks there. Do you know what I mean? And for his first fish, he doesn't care if it's or her. They don't care if it's the size of a matchbox. It's their first fish. They've got the sensation of catching their first fish. It's catch and release, you know what I mean? So it's great, you keep the stocks up and stuff like that. So there's nearly any part of the canal you'll be very unlucky if you didn't go and at least catch something. So that's what you want. You don't want to be bringing your kid out and then spending hours and hours and hours and you're not getting at it.
Yeah.
I mean, if that happens, not the end of the world, but I'm just saying it'll
I think that's what happened to me when I was told you I nobody showed me how to fish. So I didn't. I tried to start myself. I picked up an owl rod. I don't know whether. I think the top bit might have been missing. You know, the
the last eyelid. Yeah.
I don't know whether the reel was working right or I was working it wrong.
Yeah.
Probably the latter. And I remember I had the line and just tied it to a little bit of a hook, and then I used to try and put a worm on it, and then because I was fishing Blackwater at home, I remember there was reeds and everything. So we were getting caught and frustrated. And then when I would get out into the middle of the river, I'd be kind of like I'd be running along the bank trying to pull it rather than have to cast out again. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get
so
you.
That was just, and then I'd throw it in the corner, and I'm not taking that out again for another 2 or 3 years. And that was my fishing experience. So as you said, if you have a decent bit of kit and you somebody shows you how to cast and correctly the first time.
100%. Then again, like the beauty about canals is, and the beauty about fishing, I suppose, in general, is it's something that the whole family can actually participate in. You know, you don't need a license to fish in the canals, so there's no cost down at all. You can fish all year round. You'll vary different, variance of success different times of the year. The colder the winter months, the fish become more stagnant. They're not moving as much. They're not feeding as much. So you won't. Pike will obviously feed all year round. So this time of year it'd be better time to be catching pike. Yeah, absolutely. Then of course the canals, as I said before, like we are absolutely blessed with some of the most beautiful canals in the world.
Yeah,
like. No, that's a fact as far as I'm concerned. It's absolutely stunning. And to be sitting out there, even on a summer's day, I used to be fishing, and next thing you'd see a boat coming along, you'd be like, oh, for fuck's sake. Reel it back in, and he's after churning up the whole bed, and the bait and ground bait and stuff you'd been throwing in there for the past 3 hours is fucking on its way to fucking Carrick and Shannon, and it's a whole thing. But you sit back and you look at this beautiful boat heading down through the heart of the country and seeing the most beautiful scene, stopping in picturesque towns. And I've never actually done it, but it's one of my top tier holidays I want to do is to go down the canals on a barge. I just think it's absolutely beautiful.
Our dad actually used to live on a barge, and we would have visited him regularly on it. Great community on the canals. There's families that are living on them,
and they're deadly,
and yes, it's a lovely way of life.
It is absolutely
very very simplistic, minimalistic. And he has some stunning pictures in the winter.
I said a while.
When the canals start to freeze over a little bit. Just fantastic. He has some fantastic pictures. Beautiful. And look, you get, when you're out there, this is the thing, like as you said, there's young guys there and girls looking for, hobbies, and maybe the mainstream ones, your GAs and soccer and rugby, doesn't suit.
Absolutely. 100%. Which didn't suit us either. Yeah, exactly.
And, we were talking about it extensively before we started the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
But we're kind of left pick. We probably would have been the last picks, Looking behind you, there's nobody left. But but that's and like there's a sport like. What does a club, course fishing club?
What would it be? I don't know. Some couple of euros a year. It'd be very very little. Like it's if anything. Like
and then throw 50, 60 quid at your gear and
100% just to get you started. And like that, fishing is one of those things. It's like hunting. It's like golf. I suppose it's like any other bloody sport. You can spend thousands if you want to, but like it's all just about get out there and give it a start. I'd also mention just a quick word there, and I hope he won't mind me mentioning his name. When we were I went to school in secondary school. I didn't actually tell you the story, but I went to secondary school in Oakland's Community College in Edenderry in County Offaly, and we had a teacher there, and his name was Mr. Doolan, and he was actually a Westmeath man, and but I won't hold that against him. But he was one of those teachers that some teachers just make a big impact in your life, don't they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people just do, and he didn't have any. I suppose he didn't realise he was having probably as much of an impact on my life and some of my mates. But I remember when we were in first year, and he kind of bringing us all in. He was big into sport, and he was a big GAA man. But he brought us in, and he says to us, "Look at lads, I realised that like the GAA," and he was the first and only person I ever heard saying this in a school. I've said this to a few people, and they thought this was absolutely unbelievable. But he says to not all of us, he says, "I understand," he says, "lads, that the GAA and football and hurling and basketball and all this and soccer and stuff, it's not for everyone, And he says, and that's fine. Like there's not, that's normal.
Yeah.
But he says, it's what I do, but I know there's other things. So he says, look, if there's a sport out there that you think that there's a couple of you enjoy doing, and if I can in any way, shape or form at all, facilitate you in any way, he says, I certainly will. So he says, is there anything else that anybody else does? Like, so I put my hand up on it, and he says, I love a bit of fishing, And he says, oh, big God, fisherman, great stuff. And he says, anybody else, any of the rest of them? And the bowl guys that we were only talking about earlier on, that's how we kind of started becoming great friends. Next thing, the guys put up his hand, and there was a couple of the boys. Next thing, there was a show of hands, and they were all into it. So Mr. Rooney was kind of there going, Jenny, how am I going to do this now? So he says, right, look, leave it with me. That day, anyway, over the intercom, can anybody interested in joining the Oaklands Community College Fishing Club please come to the front office?
Wow.
So up we went anyway, and he organised a bit of funding. He bought nets, hooks, fishing poles, boxes, bait, the whole lot. He got a local man, Lord rest him, a local man from Eaton Derry, Paura Kelly. He came in and he gave a dig out, and he organised a bus, and he would bring us regularly. We could all get on our bus with our fishing gear, and he'd bring us down to one of the canals in Eaton Derry. Now, that was a hard thing for a teacher to do, like.
Jeez, that was a lot of work. Not a work and effort just to go into
serious work.
A couple of lads.
Serious work. Brought us in, and we all went fishing, and we went fishing in loads of different places. He brought us down the country on a fishing trip. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, look, there's like too many that I know of. Like, I met guys obviously during the week for the first time, and like two passionate hunters / fishermen now, so like
absolutely
he kept that fire alive,
yeah, absolutely, 100%, yeah. So I just said to myself, that there should be more of that, like, I mean, there definitely should be more of that.
We've said, like, I know it's December now, but men's mental health awareness week month was last month, but
yeah,
like,
that's correct.
When you're looking for something to what would you say, get a little bit active. It's not overly active.
No, but
still you're out in
100%,
the fresh air.
Yeah.
You're getting away from the TV and all the kind of negativities on the news and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And you're getting out and you're getting after fishing. Whether you get one or not is probably it's bonus if you do.
Yeah, absolutely. But
you can do it, as you said, from any age.
Yeah.
And for we're talking here, like, we won't be shooting deer for the rest of our life. Unfortunately, we'd love to be able to throw them over our back till we're 80, but that's just not possible.
No, 100%.
So it's a lovely transition to have, You can go from, you can obviously the shooting will tail off at some stage, and it'd be nice to have some sort of
something to
in inverted commas hunt.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like I said earlier, it's one of those things you can do it pretty much anywhere in the world. I done a good bit of it in Australia when I was there as well, and you can do it anywhere in the world. Yeah.
So we do we need a license? Not necessarily.
Not for any canal fishing. You don't. No. If you're on a river,
you need your
most rivers will be sectioned up into different clubs. They will take the rights to certain parts of the river.
Stretches.
And depending on what the location, you'll have to tie in with the local club down there.
Okay.
Pay a membership fee. I'm a member of it's Eaton Derry Castle Jordan. And I think starting off membership in that might be €70, I think, a year for the first initial one, and then it goes to 20 after that. So
a bit of registration and a bit of admin into it.
Exactly, and it's £20 for the year. There's a good stretch of water in it. Pike and trout you're going to be getting in it.
Brilliant.
So again, that's kind of similar to the canal. Only difference being you don't tend to have the really easy access paths down to it, and obviously it's flowing water, and it's there's a couple of different variables, and the level can come up and down fairly drastically. Yeah, but again, real good fishing for trout, like as it's,
and obviously the difference between your canal fishing versus your river fishing is you can. You're fishing for edibles on the rivers and the canals. Well,
yeah,
you're not fishing for. Well, as I say, some people might chance that.
You shouldn't be, but you
shouldn't be number one.
No,
but we know what happens and why I don't know. But anyway, that's
a whole other
whole other
podcast.
So you're getting, and then obviously. That feeds into Brendan. Like this opens up into a whole different world of your different types and your fly fishing then.
100%. Yeah. So fly fishing something I took up like probably about maybe 10 or 15 years out, I suppose. But it's something I think everybody at some stage of their life should give a go to.
You've said this to me.
It's something. You couldn't even put into words, like even excluding catching fish out there on a fly rod. It's just so peaceful, man.
Yeah.
And the types of water where you tend to fly fish is like it's nearly always kind of running water to some extent, but a lot of it's not necessarily deep water, and you can kind of wade into certain areas of it, and you'll know where it'll be. Not that you'll know, but you'll have an idea of certain areas at certain times of the year where you'll have trout, like. And you're trying to work that fly in there, and then you'll see that the fish will be rising for the fly. So you're fishing away, and you're hearing these fish coming up and taking these flies all around you, and like it's
hoping to take yours.
Yeah, it's just such a brilliant experience,
And I actually, speaking of flies, there we both we're talking about there's a lovely article in Rural Pursuits, I think.
Yeah.
A guy in there that makes his own flies.
100%.
That's an art form in itself.
And that's actually exactly, and that's a big thing. I actually didn't realise that was such a big thing, but that is a huge industry.
It's very meticulous, methodical.
Absolutely.
Requires keen eye, and obviously every lad's who's making them. Their flies are all different. They have their own way of making them.
Without doubt,
As I was reading, which is very very interesting. So So what do we need then? What's the difference between a fly fishing rod and your standard fishing rod?
Your standard fishing rod, So like you'll notice the difference straight away. The reel, I suppose, for starters, on a fly rod is completely different. It doesn't have any of the fancy mechanics that say your normal course, your standard reel will have. It just literally is a reel. You won't. Well, I mean, any of them I ever had, there probably is ones out there to do, but there's no adjustable clutch on it, or there's no reverse function on it, or there's, what I mean, there's none of that on it. But you don't really use your reel only for you don't really use it a whole pile.
Just for holding the line on.
Yeah, just for holding the line on it. And if you're reeling in a fish, you'll be accommodative. You'll be pulling it in and then taking up the slack, and pulling it in and taking up the slack. You know what I mean? But then you'll have different lengths of rods, and there's the biggest thing with rods is some people like a stiff one, and some people like a slightly more flexible one. In my opinion, I would go for say the more flexible one is you'll get a long draw on it, and you'll get a long whip on it. So it's, if you're on a kind of a pretty wide area of water, and you're trying to cast that fly, to fair distances, then that's ideal. But if you're on a tight waterway, a nice small, neat, kind of stiff rod is just ideal. You can just get it out and you can flick it down, and you've that kind of little bit more control over it, and
where you want it to land.
Exactly, where you want it to land, exactly. So that's the.
Am I right in saying then the line is different then on the fly rod compared to your standard rod?
It is, 100%.
What's the difference there, Brian?
Well, you'll notice if you looked at two of them, like the reel you'll use in a fly rod is actually, it's almost flat. It's how would you say it has a different feeling to say in your normal nylon or your normal.
And I presume that's to sort of it'll essentially roll out on the water. Is that correct?
Roll out. And I think for the most part of that, you don't really want that sinking. Like
The float is actually better.
It'll float, yeah. And then obviously at the end of that, then you have what you call your leader. You tie on your leader, and then that'll be a section of it. It's like a conventional fishing line.
Okay.
And then you attach that to your main fly line, and then your fly will go on the end of that then.
Very
then
good.
you have there's millions, you could talk for hours of the different types of flies there is,
Right.
but they a lot of them go into two groups, wet and dry. And obviously the wet will sink and the dry will effectively float along the top of the water.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'd love to do it myself. I think that sounds it sounds like it's kind of halfway between it's active, you know what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah.
Which I'd like. Obviously, there's days where I don't feel like doing very much, but and sitting beside a river fishing would really appeal to me. So
nice.
But it's a lovely transition from, as I say, from the hunting into
that
salmon fishing.
Yeah, salmon fishing. Now I've caught, as I said, two salmon in my whole life. One was on the Blackwater in down in Cork, and the other was on the River Moy. And one was when I was in college in Cork, and then the other was just went down fishing. So salmon, fantastic fight. You'll catch them on the fly. You'll catch them like you can catch them on the worm, as you can with a trout. Sometimes it's nice. So if you get it sort of late summer, if you get kind of into autumn or that, or indeed earlier on in the year, if you get a good heavy fall of rain, and the water level gets high, and then the trout and the salmon start to move around a good bit and they start to feed, because it churns up all the bottom of it, and it aerates it, and then it'll churn up, and there'll be feed for them. It'll get feed. So a lot of time when you get the day after heavy rain, when the rivers get high, a lot of people head fishing, and it's cool. It's kind of a cool way of doing it. What we would usually do is maybe a size 8 or 10 hook and a worm.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it. Cast it upstream, let the current carry it down, and as I say, you'll let the fishing line through your finger, and you will literally feel. That's it. You'll feel the worm hitting off the rocks at the bottom of the water, and then bang!
All of a sudden,
bang! You're on, and all hell breaks loose, and it's
the best feeling in the world.
Without a doubt, man. It's a fantastic feeling, because, as I said, you don't know at that stage what you're going to read in. Not a clue until you get them in, and it's
you're essentially connected to your quarry. It's not
exactly.
You're in tune with it. You're feeling it fight. You're pulling it in.
Yeah.
Every step of the way, you're at it.
You're at it. No, it's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, and then of course it makes for fantastic food as well too.
I was telling you, look, as you said, we're blessed here with the canals and the landscape and stuff, and as you know, I'm a big fan of staying in Ireland. I love it. I've gone abroad a few times, obviously, but I don't think anywhere compares to here. And I know I'm biased, but with the best landscape, we've the best, as you say, some of the best hunting ground and canals, fisheries, clear waters, which we need to protect, and on top of that, then the hospitality and food,
unbelievable, man.
5-star. People, they're trying to get into here for a reason, to experience this type of stuff. So, and I was telling you about a lovely spot down in Galliaf, called Lannan, and I think you've been there yourself. The fjord. Now, like, it's scenic wonderland,
Unbelievable. It's breathtaking.
The mussel farms and it's just amazing. But we were down there going back a couple of years ago now with the kids, and stopped in a lovely little restaurant, fish restaurant,
seafood,
just overlooking overlooking the fjord, and got chatting to a lovely man in there, and just asked him, is there any other things we should see when we're here? I said, geez, you're right bang and smack on time. He said the salmon are starting to get up the river to get back up to spawn, and there's a lovely waterfall, Ashley Falls is called, just outside Lannan. And up we went, parked beside the road, essentially jumped a fence. There was a little bit of a wooden turnstile on the fence, trek through a field and up alongside the river, and there's about 15 to 20 foot maybe.
Yeah.
About 15, 20 foot, I'd say, max waterfall there. And the salmon come up there, and obviously they're trying to get back up to where they spawned, and the water's not quite high enough at that stage, so they can't, but they're giving it their best shot, and they obviously contort their body, and as they come out of the water, they try and spring up this waterfall, and the kids will sit there literally for hours, because it's, one might jump for 5 minutes, then 3 could get up all of a sudden, you know. And then there's a competition, who's seen the most, and, you know what I mean, the biggest one, all that kind of stuff. But, and it's spectacular. I think we have some pictures. It's fantastic, you know.
And the even sound of that water breaking over the rocks is just, it's unbelievable, isn't it? It's my happy place when you're only hear that. It's, you know, it's
good for the soul. And there was a guy down there actually fishing. The last time we were down there, I think I was telling you, off the top of the waterfall down into the kind of pool where they were coming back up, you know. But it seemed me at that time of the year they've no real interest in eating. They just want to get back and spawn. So it's either they're resting all lined up, which I've seen in Galway actually. Going into Galway City one year, they were all lined up. Literally, as we looked over the bridge, you could see like rows of fish.
Rows of them,
lined up waiting for the water to rise. So they could get up there. You know, there's kind of steps up there. You know.
They're amazing, man. They're absolutely amazing what they can do, isn't it?
The home and pigeon of the fishing.
Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, they'll go back to the same area where they spawned, you know, to spawn year on year. It's unbelievable.
Fantastic.
And
absolutely stunning to eat. I had the pleasure of eating a couple of darns off one myself. But spectacular.
Absolutely unbelievable. And then there's a big thing as well now, and I've never participated in it. I don't know exactly the ins and outs of it. But have you heard of the first salmon of the year?
No.
Yeah, that's a huge, like, it's I don't exactly know how to govern it, but it's a big thing, like who catches the first salmon of the year.
Wow.
And like restaurants will pay big money for it.
Very good.
If it's the first salmon of the year. Certain lads participate and stuff. So
one of the guys actually years ago brought the salmon, I think I told you, up to the local pub up here, and they put it in an old cast iron pan on the fire, splash of cider.
Unbelievable.
And cooked it in that.
Sure, like that is exactly what we're talking about, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like
simple, basic.
Yeah,
beautiful flavour.
Oh, jeez, would you stop? That's why, you know, years ago, you know, and you'll probably maybe have similar memories. Grandparents, remember going into my granny's house, and like, you know, the Lord, jeez, man, whatever it was, there was just this. There was a taste to every food that you just don't seem to get now, you know.
Yeah, because I think there was a lot more hard work put into the food preparation. There had to be, because there wasn't as much of it, you know.
Absolutely.
I think that's maybe where we're going wrong, Bren. You know, it was the amount of food waste and stuff like that. We should be maybe charging a bit more for the premium meats and fish that we have here. And there'd be a little bit less waste. That's controversial to go at a time when people are struggling to pay energy and stuff. But like if you know, energy providers are slapping on money on top of bills and stuff, and people are conservative.
100%.
We should certainly look at that. There's no way we should be discarding some of the best homegrown fish and
without a shadow of a doubt, man.
And meat that's produced in the country. But that's a different.
People say, like, you know, like Australia, some of the seafood in Australia is absolutely fantastic. But you know something, I think we could match it any day of the year, any day of the week here we could.
Oh, whatever. You did a couple of fishing over in Australia, didn't you?
Yeah, I did bits and pieces. Yeah, I actually used to. Yeah, myself and even my wife, we used to go out. So yeah, we used to go. We used to go squidding off the jetty beside where we lived, so that was an experience.
It sounds deadly.
It was good. Yeah, and it was like, I mean, sure, like squid is absolutely, like, it's one, you know, any as I said, any person that's been to Australia, which is probably 95% of our age group, have been there for a while anyway, would have had salt and pepper squid. Go into any restaurant ever, and it'll be on the menu. And it's absolutely gorgeous, and like that, so fresh. You know, we used to go Saturday morning, go down 2 rods, a couple of squid jigs, catch a couple of squid, and they're such a fascinating.
The squid jig. Talk us through. What's involved?
So it's kind of like it's how would you describe it? It's kind of bright in colours. The top of it will be bright in colours. It has a main stem coming down through it, and then it has just like backward facing barbs then kind of after that, And the squid come up and they attack from the bottom. They always come up from the bottom, tentacles open.
Envelop it, is it?
Exactly. Then envelop it, and then they've got a beak, actually is what they call it. They have a beak that they use inside them, that they use for eating. But he'll get caught up in that and pull it up you go, and then I think you have to put your hand in. You'll kind of separate, say, the tentacles from the head, and they're kind of a nice kind of a reddish pinkish colour on them.
You were telling me this, man. This is fascinating.
It's the weirdest thing, man. If you see, you kind of put your hands in between them and you just give it a quick little pop, a real quick little pop to effectively to kill it.
Yeah.
And I can't even describe it. It's like it's just the whole body just goes white, completely white, in a half a second. It's not like a real slow gadget thing. You can see it starting here and just going whoa, white, and it just lays out when it's dead still. And I mean, it's fantastic if you cook it properly. As long as you cook it properly.
And they try and ink you one day.
Oh yeah. That's their defense mechanism to shoot ink. It's completely harmless. There used to be all sorts of stories going around. If you get ink on the meat, it's destroyed and this and that. It's complete bullshit.
Because they actually use it to make pasta.
Exactly. Exactly. They use
all
it
kinds of
for different stuff.
Delicacy.
Exactly. I mean, if they do ink it, which they will, just wash it off.
Yeah,
it's not an issue as that. Simple as that. Bring them home. You won't really choose the tentacles and stuff. Well, you can, I suppose, but you get the main kind of chew of it, I suppose, and you cut it into rings. And then I always soaked it in, because a fella showed me how to do it. Soaked it in milk for 24 hours. And tenderize it. Yeah, it just softens it. The acid in the milk just softens it that little bit. And then, really easy. I would usually get the rings and I would cut them in half. I would X the back of them. Put your X's see it as a sort of a sear, I suppose. Yeah, on the back of them. X them on the back of them. Into the frying pan then with a little bit of butter. And when they go from being these flat pieces, they'll actually, they'll tense up and become like the figure C or the letter, the letter C. They're cooked.
They're done.
That's it. Just don't overcook them. And it'll be absolutely gorgeous. Because you hear loads of people, I had squid rings and they're like rubber bands, and it's like, because it's pure shite and they're not cooked properly.
Frozen.
Rubbish. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So very good. And then the pike, Bren. I've never caught a pike. So, what size are these animals? I've heard stories are monsters, but what's a monster?
Well, it starts out. You go to the canal there, you'll catch jack pike in it all day long. They wouldn't need a half pound, or thereabouts, right up to lads have caught 33 and 4 pound pike in the canal, not too far from here. Which are big. I've never heard of one been over 40 pound. But I personally haven't. I'm not saying that there isn't, but just from going back from my stories, I don't think I've ever heard of anyone catching one over into 40 pound. But a 30 pound pike, man, is the biggest one I ever caught was 18 pound, and that was pretty big. For me,
to put it on, 30 pound is 30 bags of sugar. That's a big fish, man.
Yeah, that's a big fish. 100%. Yeah. Big old mouth on them, and they're fascinating as well. Pike are fascinating too.
What do they live off, Bren?
Yeah, fish. Fish. Yeah,
so
they'll eat fish,
they're
frogs.
The king of the universe down there.
Yeah, fish, frogs. They'll eat ducklings apparently. Well, that's not apparently, they will. So they're the big predator down there.
They're the king of the jungle down there.
But they do some good too. A lot of people argue with this stuff, but anything you ever say it's controversial, people will always argue with something. But they will kill off some of the more diseased fish and stuff down there too.
Yeah, so they're covering up all the weak.
The weak, the ones that could potentially spread other disease or something. Pike go in there and eat them. So you'll see that in some squid jigs. You can get frogs. You can get ones that are like a spinner, but it's a frog function essentially. Okay. And mice, and they'll eat anything like that they can get.
Very good.
They get at yeah.
So they're the janitors of the canal.
Yeah, the janitors of the canal is right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well done.
There've even been stories. don't quote me on this, guys. Don't take the head off me. But there certainly have been stories, and possibly even an article on a newspaper, that one year, one of the hot years, some dogs, some small little terriers went out for a swim and didn't come back. So
It's a 30-pound pike.
yeah, so whether that's true or not, I can't say, but that's certainly common.
If they're taking young ducks.
Yeah. You see a 30-pound pike compared to like a small, like a terrier.
Yeah.
It's there's no comparison, There's certainly no comparison. So yeah, no, they're give a great fight like that.
I was just going to say that is the like, obviously I'm thinking here now in my own head, from my own point of view. I'm going to start this journey. You're going to obviously help me.
Yeah.
A fucking 30-pound pike, man. I'm looking at my little rod that's out in that shed there now. How in the name of God am I going to pull in a 30-pound pike?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen this one yet. I'll have to have a look at it. But like, you don't need. I have a spinning rod there. I bought in. I was only thinking about it the other day. I have a spinning rod there. I have it 20 years. I bought it for fuck all in an old sports shop that's closed probably 10 years. And I've fished with that all my life. I can't even remember what breed of a reel I have, but it was certainly not an expensive one. Maybe a bit of fish and aid, but even see, this is the thing that I don't get. Like you fish there with maybe a 30-pound breaking strainer, not even maybe 20-pound, but you could catch a 30-pound pike, it won't break it. I don't exactly know what exactly the law is there, but yeah, that's all you need. Like a cheap rod, doesn't have to be a mad expensive rod, and a reel, the half decent fishing line. Then you'll use a trace, which is like it's like a swivel.
Yeah.
But then the bottom end, you have a swivel onto a bit of steel. It's like a small gauge steel rope wire.
Yeah.
And then it'll have a quick release fit on the back, on the bottom end of it, like a clip that you can just change between your different spinners and lures, like within a second, like, so you're not having to re-tighten.
You've that bit attached so you can clip on your different attachments.
Exactly, yeah.
If one is not working for you, you feel you want to try another one or something.
Exactly. And of course, anyone that's seen a pike has seen their teeth. They're just full of like razor sharp teeth. So you need that steel wire, because if it's normal wire, they'll just snip it.
Snap it.
Yeah.
Very good.
They're cool. It has happened to me. It has definitely happened to me. I think actually more than one occasion, where you'd be up in the canal and you'd be fishing with maggots or sweet corn, and you'd be wheeling in a little roach or something like that, and next thing a pike would come up over it and just
steal your fish.
Yeah. That's happened to me before anyway, I'm sure. I know other lads that's happened to. Yeah.
Very good. And then the trout brand, size wise, what are you looking at there?
Yeah, again, you could go from like kind of around here, so say the Blackwater and the Bine, anywhere from 1 to, less, or half pound. You can get half pound, but kind of 1 to, I'd say 5, 6 now would be a fair trout to get over. Some of the lakes in Mullingar, you 6 pound and up wouldn't be uncommon. I think the record, I remember reading it now, that's going back a good few years ago maybe, was a fella from England, and I'm pretty sure it was on Loch Lane, I think, or Loch Derivara. It was one of the lakes around Mullingar, and it was a 22-pound brown trout.
Oh, Lord.
And I swear, I'll see if I'll actually Google it. I'll put up a picture of it. Holy mother of divine, man. It was a monster. Like,
what would you do to that thing?
I'd put it back. Yeah. You wouldn't eat them, mind. They'd be rotten. They'd be rotten. They'd be down a fair depth, like big trout like that, like be a long way down. Like Derivara, I think, can be over 200 foot deep in places. So
wow.
They'd be well down, like, yeah.
So like they'd be operating on the same kind of principles as the pike then at that size.
Oh yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
So you want to be staying away from them,
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Like, definitely take him out, get your picture, and put him back in.
You don't want to be eating anything that can eat you.
Yeah, honest to God. Yeah. But so it's one of those things. I have a funny feeling, Grogan, you're going to get hooked in this, man. I'm telling you.
I don't know, man. We'll see. If I'm stuck in the bag more than I'm stuck in the river, that'll define that.
The blood pressure.
But I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's open up and obviously it's going to feed into our
Yeah.
our competition coming up for
Absolutely.
Christmas. So we want to talk about a little bit. We're going to tweak this just as over the next week or so. Obviously, we had plans set out for the next couple of weeks in terms of podcast with Norman, who couldn't make it tonight, but is going to. We're going to rearrange. Just something popped up on his end. So yeah, we're going to have him on. We're going to have the Superintendent
Walker. Yeah. I had a chat with him there. So, like, we've had loads of questions related to firearms. There's even some questions I'd like answered. A few little things clarified.
While is waiting for 9 weeks for a change of going, we'll be asking him.
Yeah, exactly. That's the story there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So so he's going to come on. We're going to tee up with him maybe next week and he's going to come on and he'll have a chat with us.
Brilliant. And fair play to him. I mean, it's. I'm sure there's just like us. There's people out there with loads of questions. Again, if anyone wants us to ask any. We don't want to get into any specifics, but keep the questions general, and we can throw a few at them.
We'll put it to them, 100%. You get us at the Irish Hunting Podcast on Instagram, Facebook.
You can message on that, and we're on Facebook now.
Yep.
We're also on YouTube.
We're on YouTube,
At the HP.
At the HP.
Yeah, nice and easy.
Lovely. You can't forget that, yeah.
Sorry, at the Irish HP.
At the Irish HP, okay.
Yeah. So so you can find us on any of them.
Yeah.
Then the competition. Obviously, we're going to be fishing and hunting over Christmas. We're going to pick a day after Christmas. So we're going to pick a day for after Christmas.
Yeah, probably somewhere between the 28th and the 31st. Yeah, thereabouts.
So we'll confirm that in the next couple of weeks. What we're going to do is we're going to try and get it's a bit of crack, right? So we're going to try and get a few people on board, right? So obviously it'll be myself versus Brenny. We're bringing a buddy apiece. He's bringing Gaz. I'm bringing Rob along for the drive, and we're gonna buddy up, and then it'll be a 24-hour
challenge.
Yeah. So we want people to get behind it. Get like it's a bit of crack, lads. Get out. 24 hours. What else are you going to be doing over Christmas?
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to be full of turkey and ham.
Yeah, exactly.
Burn it off. Get grab a pike. A pheasant.
Yeah.
And to be defined for the third part, we are going to do pheasant, fox, and a pike. Was the thing. So, but we will come. We'll
tweak that. We'll finalise that. Anyway. That we might go with that format. Yeah.
And just rock on. Like the thing is, what we're going to do is we're going to ask people to send in their kind of their buddy up photos.
Mm-hmm.
We'll put them on Instagram, and it'll be whoever. Aaron and John versus whoever, you know, and 24 hours to do it.
Yeah.
You put up your picture of your quarry at the end of it.
Yep.
And maybe best man won.
We'll have a prize.
No funny business in that.
No.
Pheasants that were put in the freezer and one's the longest tail for the last 25 years.
One that's stuffed in a pub down in Longford somewhere.
And no gluing in feathers either, or any of that kind of stuff, you know.
Or like the boys in America putting the weights in the pike or something. Yeah, exactly. It's a bit of crack. You'll be competing again one another. So if you do, you'll be doing your mate out of and we will have a prize. We're going to
a coveted.
Everyone's asking for these.
I'm telling you, man.
The Lord Jesus.
So fair play to Sarah in Studio Print. She designed. She did design the logo because she couldn't. Use the one that we had grabbed, and she did a fantastic job, I think.
Deadly job.
And they're really good quality, actually.
Yeah,
I love them.
They're deadly.
Never out of mine. I've been wearing mine.
Yeah. Deadly.
And off the last couple of weeks, so really comfortable. So there'll be one of these for the kind of we'll pick a best competitor based on a few different criteria to be defined. You know?
Without a shadow of a doubt, yeah.
It'll involve, some funny stories as well, we hope,
Exactly, without a shadow of a doubt,
That'll help win the hoodie.
Yeah. And we're going to tie in a trip down to Wild Hunter in Athlone as well. We both need gear. We won't need so what we're going to do is we're kind of going to do a podcast and a couple of videos
on what. So
exactly,
yeah. So for everyone who's going to come along this journey with from my end, who's their first entry into fishing, Brenny's going to talk them through what we're going to need. Yeah. So hopefully that will translate then for people out there who want to start it, or get back at, or maybe are a bit daunted by going into a big hunting and fishing store, the lads down there are
boys. 100%, sure, they love it. Like they absolutely love it. It's like us. Talking about. Do you know what I mean?
If anyone comes up to you and wants to know something about shooting or hunting or fishing, them lads will be only more than delighted.
Without a shadow of a doubt, the boys are 100%. And like as I said, it's like, you'll see it when you go down there. Just go down. Just do yourself a favour. Just go down to her. Send her if she's not into it, or if he's not into it and you want to do it. One of you can go into the Golden Island Shopping Centre and do our bits, and you just tip in there to the boys in Wild Hunter and get your all bits and pieces. And sure, looking when we're down to Wild Hunter, they'll probably throw us out some sort of a prize for the winner as well. They'll probably have to.
Yeah, they might get on top of it, So look, it'll be a bit of crack, lads. Get on top, and girls, obviously.
Yeah.
Get on top of it. It'll be I'm looking forward to it now. I probably wasn't when it was dropped on me last week. People might think that he told me before he did it.
I do that occasionally. These old thoughts come into my mind.
So it's growing on me. It's growing on me.
Yeah.
Fishing stories, funny fishing stories, Benny. Any
funny fishing stories? Oh man, there's been any amount of them. I've had more funny ones because just a couple of lads I used to go fishing with were just the howls. But my cousin Stephen, jeez man, he was only young fella, and I brought him fishing once up the canal, and I set him up with a rod and the whole job, and he was just like, just this is like, so put your finger there, open up your bar, cast out, close it, done. But sure, young lad, he couldn't leave that alone. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, you'd think it was something out of a comedy skit. I was like, right, that's it, do this, bang, away, close it. Now don't touch it. And he's like, right, no bother. I hadn't walked 10 yards, man. And the next thing, he had the whole lead ever bunched up in bits. And then I just remember saying to him, I spent an hour taking it all asunder and fixing it, and then just saying to him, Stephen, do not touch the fucking fishing rod, If there's a fish on the rat and it says, just let it roar, it says, and I'll come again, But sure, that's it. That's all part and parcel of learning too, isn't it?
I had one or two fishing experiences, As I say, I didn't do a whole pile of fishing. But the first one being the a couple of years back, and I'll keep them as short as I can. But we went out on my brother was really young for at the time, and we went on a holiday. I brought him to Spain, and we were with a man I used to shoot with a lot, Daffy, and Daffy's a gas man, but he said he'd bring us out fishing. Of course, Keith was the boys were after terrorising Daffy. It was the only way I'd be. Daffy was in his 60s at the time. Keith would have been 14 or 15 maybe. Wild as a bull now, But sure, he was with a pal of his, and the three boys were staying in one room, And of course, like to put it in context, why Daffy reacted the way he did, he was just the end of the tether. The boys that could be going by, Daffy be looking at a postcard or something, and the boys be going by him and down with the sharks, keep running, Or they bought at the time the gas powered air rifle, and they wait till he was asleep, and about 2:00 in the morning, and then throw over the covers and unload into the bed. And I get a knock at 3:00 in the morning. That little fucker, you. So this was going on. Anyway, the fishing then. It was actually a wet day over there, believe it or not. It started to rain, and it was miserable now, we weren't tugged out for, we were flip-flops and off this kind of rocky beach, and they were casting off, and Keith kept casting over his line, and Daffy said, do that one sport out. You do that one sport. He was doing it on purpose, and the line to get tangled because he wanted to go home. And the next thing anyway, cast over, and just as he was casting over, Daffy leaned down to stop him, and then his tooth got stuck in Keith's arm and came out, so he lost the tooth. So that was one of them. And the second one was I have a picture, and I was a lot lighter than I am now. But I Rob had promised me for years, this is going back years now, that he would teach me fishing.
Yeah.
And bring me fishing. So we were all set to go 1 year, and he never showed up. So I have a picture. I want to step at the back there, which I'll show you, with me cooler box and me fishing rod ready to go, waiting, and a sad face on me, And I reconstructed the picture 2 years ago, and I managed to root out the same trousers and the same boots, and near enough the same t-shirts, and he was a lot tighter on the second photograph. But I'll put that up for the crack.
Do.
And we finally made it down to go with it last year, or the year before. Sorry, it didn't come down last year. The year before, and we went beach fishing, and he brought down the rods. He had lovely the beach rods and stuff.
Yeah. And
it was a miserable day in Galway, but we had a cooler box. I brought whiskey, 2 glasses and a couple of beers, and we sat in the pistons of rain, Brenny.
Deadly.
With 2 deck chairs.
Happy fucking days. Yeah.
And the tide, you wouldn't believe me, I picked Silver Strand because I knew nothing about fishing. So he must have looked like 2 vegetables. And 2 deck chairs, beach rods.
Yeah.
Because anyone who knows Silver Strand Beach, it's shallow, obviously, because it's a big, long strand,
Yeah.
So probably not ideal for fishing.
Yeah.
But we persisted, and we moved back every 20 minutes. All the gear as we go, we were back because the tide was coming in that quick. But there was a woman walking a couple of springers, and the springers obviously came over around the baits. We were admiring them, and she just came up and she said, "Lads, you do know nobody fishes here." And he said, "Oh, well, we do." So we persisted, and the last cast of the day, I threw out beside the rocks, and I brought in a fish, and I've said I forgot the name of it, and I still can't remember the name. But I have a picture of it. An ugly looking fucking thing. I don't think you can eat it. But I got a fish. She came back over, and we said, well, nobody else might catch fish here, but we certainly do. And with that, we packed up and got the fuck home.
Holy fuck.
So, that's my couple of fishing experiences.
Yeah, I sure you fucking great crack, Like that, full of fucking stories. There's another one before we go. There's a character, Noel Swan, everyone around Noel. And I used to go fishing with us, like Noel was, Noel was probably 70 or maybe that now, but he used to sit there and he'd be smoking an old fag, and you just knew the man was just in heaven. He was just sitting there on the bank of the canal, and he's just happy, he was just happy as Larry. He thought maybe he might catch it, he'd bring in maybe a small 1 pound bream or something. He'd always pick him up and he'd hold the fish and he'd look at him and he'd give him a kiss and he'd say, "No, tell your ma I'm looking for her." Every time, give him a kiss and before he puts it back, and tell your ma I'm looking for her. Yeah.
Very good, very good.
No, it was good old crack. It was good old crack. But geez, we're after rambling on there for an hour and 20 minutes now. Eventually we got this recorded, which we didn't think we were going to do. And
second time round, Randy.
Second, third, yeah. Honest to God, yeah. So it's there anyway. So next week, we're going to touch base. Hopefully we will have Superintendent Walker on. Get all your questions in.
I'll be talking to Fran O'Toole, Mountain Man Knives.
Really?
My knife is being delivered. Well, it's in the post tomorrow.
All right.
So I'm hoping to have it Monday.
I would have went down and picked it up. Where is it?
Man, it's in Wicklow somewhere.
Ah, man, you should have dropped down and picked it up.
I know. We're looking.
Yeah.
I'm off tomorrow. I'm actually not too far away from tomorrow. I think I'm out in in Palmerstown, so it would have been halfway down.
Yeah.
But the youngest rugby match. But I'm hoping to get out for a shot with my father tomorrow. I haven't got out with a shot with him all year.
Yeah.
I want to get out for 2 hours. Just do a quick. I've picked a spot.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's going to be. It's going to be lucky for us. Get out for 2 hours with him and the dog. Shoot back home. Get up. Hopefully watch the young fella round off a good year.
Yeah.
With Norcal there, and then we're having friends of ours over for dinner tomorrow night. So I have full schedule tomorrow.
Happy days.
But yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah. You get out for a bit. Out to Gun Club tomorrow and let out some birds. Check all the feeders and check everything. Check, make sure everything is hunky dory. And then, depending on what way the wind is blowing on Sunday, I might be up early and head up to.
Dear.
Yeah, that's where I might.
Well, the very best of luck, buddy.
Cheers, man. I'm due one now shortly. The fridge stocks are getting low, so we'll hopefully we will keep it all posted. All right.
So an interesting couple of weeks coming up on the Irish Hunting podcast.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks a million. Yeah, we owe it to you. We're still trending there. We were in the top 40 in the Irish Spotify charts, beating all the. We bet our of the year, lad. Would you believe that? Would you?
Yeah, honest to God, man. Who
would have thought that?
We've met it, huh?
Honest to Jesus, they'll probably want us next. We'll
hang them up now, brother. So, you can always say that. Claim to fame.
Claim to fame. So no, we're happy enough, and that's all down to our listeners. So thanks a million for all the feedback and the whole lot, and keep listening if you can at all.
Deadly stuff, Brent.
Lad. So keep happy hunting and keep it country until we talk to you next time.
Over and out.
Over and out.